I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
So just loosely speaking, then go on. How would you, if this is our away formation, what would you have, loosely speaking, because we've got no idea, because we've yet to see what our home formation might look like. Hypothesize what you, if it were up to you, what you would have your home formation look
as a home formation. I think, as it stands, I'm going to stick with that back five. Okay, I'm gonna go pretty much go straight back to what we finished the game with. In fact, it's not pretty much; it's exactly what we finished the game with. And this is what I'm looking at here. And now, for me, in a home fixture, that works.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Gomez is going to get attacked as much by Bournemouth. All this being said, I don't think this is right for the Bournemouth game, because I still think it's probably a little bit too soon for this man here. So I'd be quite happy to see Jordan Ibe in here.
Yeah.
For Firmino against Bournemouth.
Personally, I'd go the exact opposite. I think you might as well start him. He's got to start getting some starts under his belt, and you've got. I'd much like to see Jordan Ibe go back to being an impact. So because he's got, him coming on with 20 minutes to go with his pace. My big fear over this, and it was something we touched upon on the Redmen roundup this week, is that midfield three, and you look at it and you rub your hands together, because it ticks all the boxes that everyone's been going on about all summer, just basically getting Emre Can in and giving him that opportunity to hold him mid. What happens when we get an injury to him or him or him?
I can tell you what happens when one of them gets injured right now. Let's say, look, Joe Allen's out. Joe Allen's injured.
Yeah.
He's not playing, so we can't use him. That's what happens.
That's very interesting.
Because he's got the legs to do that for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
But we'll struggle after that. But that's where I see Lallana getting most of his games if we go to this formation. Who are you looking for?
Roster. Have we got Kirby?
Nope.
So we'll get him on the ball, because I think again,
conversation to be had.
Because again, the obvious one is, I think, actually is more a case of you put Emily there and you probably drop Lucas in there. And I know we've discussed there's a potential issue of Lucas' mobility and what have you, but if you're looking to maintain solidity and what have you, I think that's more. I get it, because look, Lallana will press and he will run all day for you. I think that maybe leaves you a bit more too much of a soft centre, particularly when you're talking about this side of the field as well, because all of a sudden you've got Coutinho, Lallana and Gomez as your left-hand side. That's suspect defensively.
I think I agree with you in what we're saying, but what let's go back to the original one with Henderson again. What this is not a defensive midfield. This is an attacking midfield. This is a side to break down teams at Anfield, as I see it.
Yeah.
To break down teams when they've got 7 players, 8 players, 9 players behind the ball. And what we get fixated on people like Lucas to be a defensive mid and stay there. Was actually what we need when we're trying to break teams down is 3 runners.
Yeah.
3 people who are willing to get forward, and when they do get forward, they can actually do something. And that's why Lucas doesn't fit it for me at home. Now, away from home, I could have a conversation about it, but that's why I think Lucas actually isn't the answer.
I think kind of what I'm driving at, I guess, is, like I say, let's take Emre Can out, because we don't know how he'd last, and let's say we've had an injury to, let's say, Milner, because he's becoming quite pivotal to this. And I'm not saying that there's a problem with it, but ultimately it's something we alluded to on the Redmen roundup show. So we haven't sold Lucas, let's say, for the sake of argument. This happened in the first couple of games of the season.
Fuck.
Yeah. yeah, precisely. Or as you suggested.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's.
I think that picture doesn't do him justice, man. He looks really young.
He is really young.
Scares me.
It
really scares me when you put we've put a 3-year-old in our centre mid.
He's literally 2 years old. I don't think he will ever age. But I think what I'm kind of highlighting, and it's not necessarily
it's about having 3 players.
It's not necessarily for this show. It's that if that is a long term plan of ours. Where's Emre gone?
It is.
Emre Can. Is that's fine and it's great, but all of a sudden we are massively short in options for that, So, should we be relying on a formation that absolutely relies upon the optimal fitness of those three players? Because also, what happens in Europe? What happens when you need to have that kind of thing when you're playing in the Europa League as well? Are the options that we have available to us, are they capable of fulfilling the same thing? Because I think they're all cut from the same cloth. They've got great engines, they run all day, they've got great touch, they've all got a shot in them, and they're not total bell ends that they're going to stay stuck up here. Although there may be a slight question over this gentleman
this
here.
Is literally what happens. Emre Can runs, and these go and run backwards to cover. He's not coming back.
As opposed to,
and everyone else goes shit.
Yeah. As opposed to what kind of happened last season, where let's pretend this is Steven Gerrard, where they kind of went, let's just stay there. I'll stay.
And I'll move here. I'll move here for the pass from Gerrard.
Or moreover, that's Gerrard. That's Henderson, and Henderson just doing this all game, all day long, and then goes off to get him a cup of tea and brings it back and gives it to him.
Major risks with those magnets there, mate.
Super good.
Have we even got the right amount of people in the team? Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we are.
There's the sex bot there.
Great. So there you go. Anything you'd like to kind of sum up on, I guess?
No, I think what it really shows though is this tactical flexibility, because it is a worry what you've said there about the three midfielders and basically not having six midfielders in the squad who are available, and because they are literally, I think, the only three that can play together properly because of their qualities. That's why I think we're going to see a lot of the 4-2-3-1 formation this season. It also makes it more difficult, of course, for managers. We're sat here trying to analyse this after one game, but I think when we've seen maybe 3-4-5 formations over the first 4 or 5 games, it'll be really difficult moving forwards. And but what it says is we've not even spoken about Ladzar, we've not even spoken about Ings, Origi, all attacking players that should be in and around this side. And a couple of years ago, we
I would just on that. I would start to feel better in this formation. I would feel loads better about us owning Danny Ings. I've got no idea where Divock Origi's going to fit into Liverpool this season, if at all. But Danny Ings, I think, would suit actually either of those positions quite well, because it's exactly what you're talking about, and it was in Jed's article as well. There's a bit where Benteke,
he's all right now, is Benteke?
Solid as a rock. He pulls out and leaves that space. A la 2009 Liverpool, Fernando Torres would do that and Gerrard would come in. Well, if Danny Ings is one of these two guys here, he's not offering you that the wonderful Brazilian magic of these two, but what he is doing is giving you that instinct to bomb in here. So I feel more comfortable with that as an idea. Again, not quite sure where Origi fits in, but what the big question is, because if this is just let's turn up the style kind of formation, something we're going to use as a plan B that we've long discussed, that's fine. But if this is ultimately what we think Liverpool are going to end up as, largely for the season, I don't really see where Lallana fits in, other than, as you suggest, perhaps as an alternative in these kind of midfield positions.
The other thing is, 2 years ago we saw a lot of him there.
Yeah,
I don't personally want to see him there, because I think in this formation he's going to be doing a lot of defensive work, and I think you've got to let him do his thing. Yeah,
but I don't see where Jordan Ibe. I think it feels like Jordan Ibe's development maybe comes to a stop because he isn't that guy. Not yet. Anyway,
he could be from this side.
Potentially, yeah. I'm just it's that thing that we forget sometimes. I think Sterling has. And although everyone has a laugh about Sterling's finishing ability, he was very keen to run and get into the box and attack.
There's an inclination to get into the box, whereas Ibe's first port of call is get at the man, get to the byline type of thing.
Don't get me wrong, we saw Ibe cut in, didn't we, and score with one with his left foot in pre-season, so I'm not being all doom and gloom on that. But I think if we switch this formation, at the minute we're looking at wingers, Jordan Ibe is his first choice. He's ahead of Markovic as our only two wingers, I think, in that position. If Firmino's coming in, we have to change the approach a little bit. Like I say, I'm not as convinced over the futures of someone like Jordan Ibe if we were to switch to this more of a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1.
Well, you're right, but I think what we've got to remember is that he's dead young and he can still change his game. You know, he's not the finished article in any way, shape or form. I want to pose a question. What happens when this man comes back? Because it's all well and good now.
We scored all the goals!
It's it though, isn't it? Where do we... I mean, let's play with 12. But where do you think Liverpool are going to play when he comes in? So, honestly, I think what Jack's alluding to, I think we've got a game plan for the next 6 games, let's say. And, you know, we don't want to be chopping and changing too early on. You know, the team did well. We had a solid base against Stoke and we managed to get 3 points. I think the idea is put the same team out there. Let's see if we can get a relatively comfortable victory, but with the idea that they're going to be the same team that are going to come into form against the likes of Arsenal and Man United when we're playing them.